When I get a client that calls me and wants to rent my Red camera package or any Red camera package or is even interested in trying to use the Red, I always tell them to make sure to understand the post-production process of the Red when you shoot it. You really want to talk to people who have used the Red in the past, studios like Kappa Studios. They have great guys here that know the inner workings of post-production with the Red. And I want them to know, the client to know what their output's going to be, what their final product's going to be. If it's going to be a tape format product where it's going to be just on TV, or if it's going to go to theaters and be a film project on film, there's different workarounds and different ways to post that product. Then after that's figured out, then, you know, obviously, what are they going to need as far as the Red package? Are they just using the basic Red camera and then they're going to sub-rent all the other elements like lenses and matte boxes, or do they need support equipment with the Red for the package? Do they need the tripod and the head and the lenses that we own at our company? Basically, though, all that stuff can be sub-rented, so the most important thing is making sure that you get the basics of the Red, which is the body, the EVF, the LCD, the hard drive, and the SD cards for the camera to be able to use it. Outside of that, everything else can be sub-rented. A lot of people think it's just like any other camera and they just turn it on and shoot it, which to a point it is a little bit like that, but there's a split mentality. There's a little bit of a video world element to the Red and there's a lot of a film world element to the Red. You're not actually shooting film element, but you're shooting digitally, but you want to keep that in mind when you're shooting, that you're shooting more for film than you are for video. Because it's raw, you basically have a lot of things you can set internally in the camera, but that doesn't really affect what the image is going to look like on the way out. You basically, I tell most of my DPs to treat it like film, shoot it as a 320 ASA camera, light with a light meter, not rely on monitoring. Instead of delving your head into the monitor, seeing that what your image is, it's not necessarily what you're shooting on the camera. Just trust your light meters for the most part. No, most of them are pretty honest. Most of them are scared to death of it actually because they don't understand it. Especially the film DPs that have strictly been in the film world for all these years, you know, they're dealing with electronic process now and it really scares them. And I kind of understand that. I mean, when I first got my hands on, because I'm used to a tape format world, working digitally and working on hard drives really scared me a lot. And I really, even to this day, you know, always tell my clients to make lots of backups of your project because hard drives crash, things happen. It's a computer. It's based on a project-to-project basis as far as how cost-effective using the Red is. If you were shooting a reality show and you wanted to shoot all your challenges and stuff using the Red, probably not the greatest camera to use for shooting reality-based programming. If you want to, on that same reality show, shoot your OTFs and all your beauty shots using the Red, it's a perfect camera for that. The problem is when you're shooting the reality, you're shooting so much footage so quickly that you'll get so far behind trying to log all that footage and store that footage and make copies. If you're shooting episodic, television, commercials, music videos, your takes are a lot smaller and your time to your recording is a lot smaller. Not that I'm an expert or have an accurate figure, but say on an episodic you might shoot an hour to an hour and a half of actual footage in a day. On a reality show you could shoot 6-7 hours of footage in a day on one camera. You know, there's no way you're going to be able to download that footage and make copies quick enough to be able to keep going. If you want to shoot the Red, do it. Don't hesitate. Don't think weird about it. There are some issues that the camera has inherently, but if you hire somebody who has worked with the camera and knows the camera, they can talk you through those issues. Most of the bad issues they had early on have been fixed on the camera. Red was nice enough to let the public get their hands on a piece of equipment that wasn't quite finished so they could get input back and be able to make a better product that way. So there was a lot of misconceptions of the product not being up to par. I would say at first there was some issues that way, but since build 15 or so, the camera's been very solid, very locked in, so don't ever even hesitate when you think about using the Red to shoot.